All right, yeah, we are live now. 666. So we're going to go over some of your VODs, Kumatora against Malachi. Now, these were friendlies on Netplay, but Malachi, known pretty good player.
Yeah.
So a lot of the
Uh,
things he's going to be doing here are relevant both offline and in higher level tournament.
yeah. And these are especially fresh friendlies as I played them 2 days ago.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
All
But yeah,
right.
I guess my main goals with this is to try and, I guess, understand how to fight someone at the top level, especially someone that's basically written the book on NES counterplay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, One note on that. Well, Malachi is obviously extremely well practiced against Ness. I don't have to tell you how differently every Ness plays, and even just using the same tools, let alone using different tools from each other.
Yeah.
So, like, Ness as a character has a ton of, like, I guess, freeform variability. You can mix up your timings, you can mix up your weird options, you can mix up your normal options. Like, so there's
Yeah.
definitely, even though Malachi is extraordinarily good against the character, and you'll play other people who also are, this is a weird kind of like brawl-ish problem. They're kind of extraordinarily good against their version of Ness. So like Switch is extremely good way back in like 2017 was extremely good against the Frozen Mewtwo. So even though Switch was better than me at that tournament, he was playing the wrong Mewtwo and made a lot of mistakes. So that's something to keep in mind also is that like their experience is localized. Even the top players that travel a lot don't like they have a NES player that they play all the time as opposed to, just the nature of travel and online play in PM.
Yeah.
But first things first, the one of the first things that happens here. So you get some pressure, and Malachi shield grabs twice. So here you land the down tilt. He's trying to basically just CC shield grab you. He even CCs the magnet. So he's still like down throwing and holding down, and then just shield grabbing you. We're going to talk about this a little bit more later, but because this happens, this is a big theme of your pressure in this set. Is Malachi just saying, "I'm not going to get grabbed. Like you can hit me with anything else, but you're not going to grab me."
Yeah.
So the reason he's doing that is because throughout the 3 games at least in this VOD, and then also the character itself, it's hard for Ness to kind of get around that grab height. Like you can't really short hop and vertically go over it like some other characters can, because his head is enormous and his hop is
Yeah.
not. So what you end up having to do, if you're worried about this out of shield, is outspace it horizontally, which can give you like rewards, like you can get a grab, but it's something that a lot of the times Nest pressure will have to be, if you're going to use magnets and DJCs, it's going to be roughly the same timing.
Yeah.
Additional, and this is kind of the more universal, like the dash dance bait. You get like I think it's beginning of the 3rd game here. You actually like bait the grab perfectly, but then you go for a much safer pressure option of just grounded PK fire afterwards. Yeah, because for the most part, Malachi is not going to be counterattacking out of shield except with shield grab because like at low percent at least, his aerials aren't going to get him much.
Yeah.
So if he wants to get you off of him instead of getting away from you, he's going to mash shield grab. So we get to short string here, and I'm going to turn the audio on just a little bit so you can hear.
I cannot hear.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So you double jump right here at 12 seconds.
Okay.
um, you can see the little there.
Yeah.
So the way that the way that this string is basically going, Malachi's getting a moderately like maybe a little high, but like a landing up air. I think this double jump's a little greedy.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Because this is the kind of conversion that it's like, okay, this is someone who plays the character. This is one of the best players in the world. They're going to get something here. So when you burn your double jump here, it's a really risky thing, and you end up getting punished for it pretty hard. I don't think you die off this interaction, but you do take a lot of damage. One way to kind of reframe the situation that might make a little more sense is that especially if you're playing someone like super notably good like Malachi, like give the opponent the benefit of the doubt that they're going to get something here.
Yeah.
And then that reframes your jump as, okay, this is a risky option that I'm doing to get out of something, especially if you're down, 2 stocks to 4 and you just need something.
Yeah.
As opposed to kind of just a bad habit. Okay, so skip forward a little bit. You take some damage from the edgeguard sequence here.
Yeah.
Malachi's really good at edgeguarding Ness, and this character's really, really good at not being able to really handle it.
Yeah.
So here, this is just a plain old DI mix-up, but I do want to point it out that this is, I believe in these 3 games, this is either the only time Malachi does this or the only time he gets such a quick effect off of it, where he just gets the landing nair, then threatens the combo move, but raw bears instead, and catches you DIing out.
Yeah.
So what he's doing by not doing that again is trying to catch you DIing in. So, he killed you off of this interaction because you expected the combo move. Throughout the next few games, he's not doing that to try to cash out on you holding in case he bears.
Yeah.
That doesn't.
I do the same thing with my combos, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You even messaged me when you did it at a tournament. You mentioned cashed out. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that all makes sense.
But this also ties into the same kind of cycle of pressure that I'm gonna. I'll explain more in detail later, but it's basically there's 2 phases to playing a human being. Phase 1 is I don't know if they know. So phase 1 is what does Ness do? Or this person can EX fire, or this person can do really good mag pressure. Phase 1 is the attacker setting up that they will use an option. So this combo DI mix up here. Mm-hmm. Phase 2 is all the back and forth. That's it's all the mind games of, oh, well, last time Malachi did the kill move, so this time I'm going to hold in. But he could be doing the combo move, so I should hold out. But he might know that, and just it goes in a circle.
It's basically the Yomi levels, right?
Exactly, 1 through 4.
Yeah.
This is where the majority of high-level gameplay takes place, because phase 1 is predicated on someone either not knowing something, oh, I don't know what magnet does. What's Lucas magnet? Ah! Or going, I didn't know Lucas could go that fast, or I didn't know Ness. What is EX fire? What is this broken move, etc.
Yeah.
And then once both players are on equal game knowledge, whether that doesn't mean that Malachi knows that Magnet Dare is -2 or whatever the numbers are, but just that Magnet Dare is a thing that he can't mash out of, for instance.
Yeah.
Then you get into the Yomi levels of you just 1 through 4. You just loop it in that way. Why do I manually erase things when I have a trash can button on this pen? But yeah, if you know the term Yomi, then this becomes a lot easier. I can just use the term Yomi.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Okay, and we're going to look at Malachi's shield options here again. Here. So, you got 2 hits and he's still rolled. So, you basically catch him here. I can just use frames. This is YouTube, thank goodness.
Yeah.
He's not even taking an action here, but he is just, you poked his shield down. So you catch him there. And here, you catch him rolling, jumping, probably not spot dodging, but the very early vulnerable frames of something with Magnet. Mm. And he's still CCing. Actually, that one he's not CCing, my mistake. But this one, he's still buffering roll. Once he realizes he's on the ground. So even after getting hit twice, he's still choosing to roll away from your grabs. So it's that same kind of he I guess you could say he's on the same Yomi level as he is before until you prove him wrong and really kill him for trying to evade a grab.
Yeah, gotcha.
He's just doing it very well because he's even so if you go like anti-grab out of shield, right? Okay, this is the part of the night where my writing is actually still decent. Lovely.
Wonderful.
For Zero Suit, not really. She doesn't have like a Ness Dare or a Luigi Nair to like threaten super quickly. So she has like rolls. She has her own grab. And she has jumps. And because Malachi is mixing these three up, he can still defend himself pretty competently, even when he's taking only pretty significantly anti-grab options. So even though for example, even though you know he's on whatever specific level of Yomi, you know he's going to do anything to avoid the grab, he's still showing three relevant options. So that makes it much more difficult to punish what he's doing because you don't know what he's doing. You only know what he's avoiding.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
And a lot of the hard part is that like a lot of this is hard to punish really hard unless you call it out specifically. Like you can definitely either grab or dare these rolls, but then you are at risk of getting grabbed or at risk of losing position if he jumps. If you full hop nair to catch a jump, you're at risk of like being under Zero Suit. Like these three options are very straightforward, but they're set up in a way to where you are taking a risk even trying to cover one of these three options. And that is something we can look a little bit more at what Ness can do about those at the end of the VODs. I just wanted to point that out early so that way I can point out when it happens. It happens a lot in these games.
Okay then.
And it's not like a failing. It's not like a mistake that you're making. It's just a thing that you can. It's a thing that you can kind of take notice of. Take notice of what he's cycling through, and then build a game plan around it.
Okay. So less of a problem and more something to take account of, pretty much.
Yeah, it's a problem that Malachi is introducing.
Yeah.
It's not a problem in your gameplay per se. Because this is just something that like is how the game works. It's hard to cover all three of these at the same time. Like especially when you don't have the tools to like jump. Jump doesn't fix this problem. So if you want to evade a grab, you have to be horizontal. If you want to punish a jump, you have to be a little more vertical. If you want to punish a roll, you have to be a little more horizontal. Like it's even if you know he's gonna avoid a grab, the fact that he's mixing up and making it difficult means that it takes a little bit more planning and kind of like I almost want to say brainstorming to punish really hard what he's going to do.
Yeah. Okay then.
Okay. Okay, so the next significant out of shield option that he does here is in just a moment. It's not just a moment. It's in like 15 seconds. Here, let me kick forward a little bit. So there's a situation here where you get some down tilts. And I really like this option that you choose here. So here it is. Yeah. So you get this magnet pickup air to air. The turnaround fair, and you get Malachi in this really awkward like landing situation.
Yeah.
Where now he can't escape, so he has to shield and then just take an out of shield action, which is what you want.
Yeah.
So what you do here is you do the one down tilt, you let it rock, and then you do two more. And this one catches his roll. The third down tilt here.
Mm-hmm.
This is partially him, or let me rephrase that. This is partially you doing a really good job of like mixing up your down tilt timings. I forget exactly when I started using this phrasing. Have I used the phrasing like the what, the where, and the when before?
No, you have not.
Okay. So if you want to, that's basically the three questions you asking yourself as you play against somebody. What are they going to do? Where are they going to be? And then at what timing or when are they going to do it? Why do they start on this side? Ugh. E. So, for example, here, you know that Malachi is going to basically try to avoid a grab in some way. So you have the what down kind of like halfway, because he still has options, but like, roughly, he can't aerial out of shield super effectively here. It's going to be like grab, roll, or jump primarily. The where isn't really important, so we're just going to check that off. And then you call out his when. Because when you look at this, what he does is he intentionally, let me erase this and back up a little bit. He intentionally delays this roll to try to catch you catching his out of shield option. So you see how long he waits in shield here?
Yeah.
For someone whose strategy so far has been to avoid grabs at all costs, this is really telling. He gives it about like 15, 20 frames before he actually takes his action. And he most likely, with the way that you tend to use down tilt, is he most likely assumed that this first down tilt was going to go into mag, and then he was trying to roll after the magnet hit. So not only is this mixing up your offense in the sense that he is now not sure of the... Here, so if we flip this, right? So let's say as Malachi, he's trying to defend himself. Again, the where isn't super important right now because it's shield pressure. So we're going to check that off. He's going, okay, what do I need to defend myself from? What is Kumatora going to do to me? Okay, I think that Kumatora is going to down tilt magnet, so I'm going to roll after the magnet. That ended up being wrong. And the when ended up being wrong. So because of those two things, because you delayed this down tilt, the second chain of down tilts, you punish that roll, and you don't quite pick up the tech chase here, but you get that hit, which is really, really important when you're trying to pressure somebody. Because you're showing him that, hey, you can't just roll. And he rolls less after this. He starts jumping and grabbing more.
Gotcha.
And then this is the same, or I don't want to phrase it like the same thing, but this is that common thing where like you see that they have to tech and you want to get there like almost before they have to, but it's just the timing's a little too early to hit tech in place. If you delay this by like 4 or 5 frames, you can cover tech in place and miss tech at the same time.
Okay.
It's a lot more common to see this kind of situation when someone gets launched onto a plat.
Yeah.
But it is, with the way your down tilt sends, it can happen on the ground as well, clearly. And you always have the opportunity, or the option, of course, to just like tech chase grab. I know that Ness's run speed is not the best for that, but depending on how scrambly of a situation it is, you don't have to always do the hard stuff. Okay. The next thing is, I'm talking about corner pressure. So yeah, after Malachi comes down off the platform here, he gets a little damage. And he hits you to the corner.
Yeah.
So, actually, interesting. Note that he hits you to the corner by shield drop bearing. That looks like a golf club. Oops. So this basically this zone that shield drop bear covers. Her legs are extraordinarily long, and these plats make it really, really easy. That's basically how Zero Suit pressures corner. Because she can kind of have a little bit of a hard time confirming kills. Like, she doesn't have a significant DI mix-up on the first hit, unless you just weren't expecting to DI. What I mean by that is, so you'll see how Malachi positions here. He tries to catch you with the back hit of Nair. Then his pivots are unfortunately good too. He gets like a really clean pivot down smash that's so upsetting later. So he's basically just giving you enough room to walk into something, and pressuring you enough to where you feel like you have to escape the situation, and you run into this abomination. God, I forgot this thing had a sour spot for like 3 months at one point. It's absurd.
It is.
But the good news is here. So let's say if Samus is on the platform, this is the most threatening thing she can do, and she can't easily do it towards you unless she wave dashes first, and then if you shield it, you get your shield grab punish.
Yeah.
So she's probably not going to do that. If Samus is over, and we put her in blue. If Samus is over here, then she has her short hop aerials. She has run up options, but run up grab doesn't get her very much at this percent when you're already cornered. Like you just hold away and react to F throw as best you can. And even if you don't, it's not the end of the world. I mean, you start getting edge guarded, but like that's a very low reward for the risk that they're taking. Where if you run past them as they do that, suddenly the tables are turned.
Yeah.
So a lot of what Samus's corner pressure ends up being is this back air. And she has, don't get me wrong, her movement attributes are phenomenal. So this back air is more than just a good back air, but it's dependent on you running into back air, running into down smash, running into down tilt. It's dependent on you feeling this urgency to advance and contest these really, really good moves, really, really good attributes.
Yeah.
And especially for Ness, because you don't have good diagonal moves. So you can't necessarily short hop Nair the same way that Zero Suit can to kind of cover this angle after they've already missed.
Yeah.
The good news is what you can do is you can just kind of chill. Like there are times when Malachi will run up grab you here, but if you got to make him do it, and he has to acknowledge that she's not going to run into my back air. I have to clean up the stock some other way. I have to get a grab and edge guard. You even spot dodge his grab it later in these games. So that's more risk than he's taking by just doing the world's biggest leg back air. So again, with the 3 questions, right? If you know the what is either spaced back air, especially with these side plots. These side plots are killer for these back airs. If the what is a spaced back air or a pivot down smash, that's still hard to get around. You can't get through it easily, but you know what it is. You know what the where is, roughly. So we'll do half. Half. It's going to be somewhere kind of not overextending and to punish you running forward. And you don't know the when, but these can give you hints on the other. It's like, is it algebra? Where it's if you know X and, solve for Y or something. You can use one variable to learn more information about the others.
Okay.
Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, that's a really interesting way to think about this that I really hadn't ever considered.
Yeah, this is, after running my head into a wall of both a really good melee spacey and just various things like this, where it's I was a very bad Mewtwo player when I first started. I had played Falcon, and I wasn't used to not having move speed. So I wasn't used to not being able to just directly contest this stuff. I got really annoyed, so I had to start going okay, congratulations, I know the Fox Nair is really good. I got to figure something else out here. I can't beat top 100 melee player playing PM Fox just being good at Fox with my bad Mewtwo. I got to figure out where they're going to do it and when they're going to do it and Brawl Pivot Grab them. Because good God, Brawl Pivot Grab is wild. Yeah. I learned early. But yeah, using things like this is why I think Zero Suit's very good, but this is why I think she has a small problem killing. Not that the move isn't strong, but she can't force it. The same way some other top tiers like Mewtwo, MK, Wolf can. Mm-hmm. She doesn't have the throw confirms Meta Knight, up throw, cape. Even if up throw cape only gets you off stage. She doesn't have the really, really good pressure like Wolf, and to a lesser extent Mewtwo. She doesn't have the kill confirms like Mewtwo. Like, enough about my personal opinion, but I think this is a slightly overlooked hole in her gameplay because she has to give up all of or the majority of her what to rely on back air, to rely on down smash, and that makes it a little easier. Also, when you know kind of roughly where it's going to be, it's like some nebulous area over here that you have to run into. It can help a lot when you're trying to nail down just like they're just doing a good move. How do I get around this? Especially with your fair isn't really competing with this, especially with the risk.
Yeah.
Additionally, because you know the what is another option that's universal is run up shield. So like here, let me clean this up a little bit. If you know Zero Suit's up here, and you're like, oh, Zero Suit's facing on stage on the platform. I've seen this one before. Say the line, Bart. Drop through back air. If you know what she's going to do and where she's going to be, you have options that are, even if they're not phenomenal, they're good enough to keep them honest. So like run up shield. Now all of a sudden, especially if you can run up enough to get the sour spot to hit, all of a sudden, hey, whether it's directly shield grab punishable or not, it's probably close. So hey, now that's suddenly a problem, right? Now Zero Suit can't just do back air, and even if she empty falls to the platform, she can't really grab you from the air. So she has to fall through, jab your grab. Like now Zero Suit has problems that she has to solve. Yeah. Of what is Ness going to do? Where are they going to be when they do it, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So even with something universal and not super great for Ness, it's not like Ness's Marth grab range. You have turned Zero Suit on a platform into now she can't do this for free anymore. Mm-hmm. Because when she's giving up a lot of her, it's not surprise factor, a lot of her variability, that you can really punish that. Malachi and players as good as Malachi will make it really hard, but that is an additional avenue to punish it. When you have some things locked down, that can inform you on other things.
Yeah. That makes sense. One of the things is that sometimes when I'm fighting someone as good as Malachi, I sometimes feel overwhelmed by how many things I'm trying to keep account of. So I think simplifying it in this way is going to help a lot more moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one thing that, especially players that'll play these fast characters like Zero Suit, Spaceys, even like Marth, who's floaty, can do this. They could just give you decision paralysis. Because if they're playing faster than you, and you have to be proactive because you have a hand and they have a sword, or they have this back air, it's hard to be proactive if they're faster. Or if you feel that you're slower, which is also just as... That's, in my experience, that's more the kind of the trick here for those players that'll just rush you down. It's not that they're faster than you. Well, in a huge amount at least. It's that they're playing faster than you right now. Because the nature of defense in Smash is you have to force an error sometimes.
Yeah.
And if you get in shield, you have to have an exit strategy. And sometimes just getting back to neutral is a, like, hey, it worked out great. Nothing happened. Woo, I defended correctly. So by taking the advantage by attacking first, they put you on the back foot, both like literally because you have less options, and also, hey, not only do you have neutral, you can't think about neutral when I'm pressuring you. And if I'm pressuring you, I probably won neutral, so that it's your problem to solve now. Now you have two problems.
Yeah. Anyways, we should move forward.
Yes.
I do want to get done by the hour.
Okay. The next thing is just, this is an unfortunate missed punish opportunity. Oh, I do want to, on this, that up tilt. So you CC this Nair, and you have some, you've been able to tumble a few times, which is really, really effective on these low percent combos. This one you CC, but either way, this is a really big miss opportunity.
Yeah, that's such a grab, such a shield grab.
It's especially funny that this is like not a wave dash. This is a drop shield down tilt. We're playing Smash 4. This is about to trip Zero Suit 5 times in a row. You're gonna jab lock, sweet spot F smash. But yeah, something I think is easy to forget is that shield, like, it's easy. You know that meme of the like graph of like low IQ, high IQ, both are just like pressing buttons is fun, and the middle is like, should I press buttons here? Or that? That's what shield grab is, right? Like, on paper, shield grab is obscene. It's absolutely absurd. It's frame 7, universally, except for tethers, and a lot of characters, like, it can't be CC'd. And a lot of characters, it's one of their biggest combo starters. And a few characters, it's one of their longest range combo starters. And you can do it out of shield. You can just do it reactively when you see stuff like this. So it's I think especially with how relatively technical Ness's out of shield is, it's easy to go, okay, wait, how do I punish this? And then kind of just like zone out for a sec.
Yeah. Especially since a lot of the time I haven't been thinking about shield grab as much anymore, just because it feels like a lot of people space their aerials around that, and just their moves in general. And Ness's shield grab is very short.
He's a human child.
Yes.
Fighting Pokemon and animals and fully grown humans with longer limbs. But I'm not saying you can force every aerial to be shield grabbable, but you're as much in control of how your hitboxes and shield interact as they are sometimes. Yeah. So like, if you know the bear is coming off this platform, run up shield can mess that up. If they're trying to maybe drift forward a little bit, or backwards, drift towards you a little bit, and you're not tall enough to really force that frequently in neutral with like spacing air, the same way that like Zard and Mewtwo are with run-up shield, but messing up your opponent's rhythm is one of the best things you can do when you're being overwhelmed, because they have to be going fast. And if they're going fast, they also have to make a lot of decisions very quickly. It's just that they're making the decisions that they're making the problems that you have to solve. So it's easy to forget that they're also, like, their brain's running kind of fast too.
Yeah.
This also does give us information, the CC grab. It was a CC grab. By all accounts, this was your shield grab. And even then, Malachi was like, you know what? Just in case. He is not putting up, he is fully committed to getting grabbed at this point. With regards to, not moving. He also expected to get grabbed already, so why not? If he gets grabbed, this CC grab doesn't do anything. And this does give us some information on what he's doing. Which can be kind of hard to come by with the way that, inputs work and game states don't update when you can't do anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so for here, I wanted to call out, I really like your different ledge options. So he acknowledged that he can't get you. Just a neutral get up, right? Because again, when let me actually back up slightly to get a better picture. When Malachi's trying to pressure you, trying to get this kill, he's going to have to get the clean bear. So you see here, he's drifting towards you, but he can't just run up and dash attack you to kill you. He has to get this, or a down smash, or something slower and more methodical. Mm-hmm. So because he has to give you that space to threaten a kill, you can just do neutral get up. You can just do tournament winner ledge dash. You have a little more breathing room on both, because Zero Suit can't do that, and Malachi also is very careful around ledge. I was watching I was reviewing a Malachi versus Lunchable set a few months ago. It's hilarious. They just ledge dash for free. It's really funny. They just don't want to talk to each other. But yeah, this lets you mix up the when. When, neutral get up, you're grounded at X timing. Tournament winner ledge dash, you're grounded at a slightly different timing. I don't know exactly which kind of B movement it is, but your B reverse wave magnet bounce, you're actionable with the hitbox at a different timing. So just having the freedom to use all of these different options, even if Malachi is looking for something to kick with back air, that can give him more problems. If it's just a pure multiple choice question for the when is my opponent going to do this, and you give him 5 choices, he has to make a pretty informed decision or just at some point guess. A lot of like mind games are just like educated guessing. Like you obviously can't know what someone else is thinking 100%. So you're like, well, they've been up being out of shield a lot. They're probably going to do it again.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the last thing I want to talk about in this game. Okay. Then it was game 2. Yeah. Okay. So. Yeah, y'all really like PS2. This is a good Zero Suit stage. And it's game 2. Then here it is. Okay.
To be fair, this isn't game 2. This is game 16.
Or yeah, that's true.
Between game 1 and game 16, we played on PS2 once.
All right. So here you bait out this grab like perfectly, but then you commit to the like. I don't want to say overly safe, but the very safe option of throwing fire. Whereas this is the exact kind of thing you need to do to punish these shield grabs. Because if Malachi is just going anything but getting grabbed, and you can move, like you clearly are at huge advantage because he's shielding fire. Shield grab is something he can CC during. Jumping is not. So, actually, let's bring our options back. Let's bring his options back on the table. We have grab, jump, or roll. Can't CC during jump, and you're like super plus because of fire, so you're very likely to hit him out of whatever he's going to do. He could grab, which he can CC during. He could roll, which he can CC during. But because you're super plus, roll becomes much riskier. That's a very common thing to do against PK fire. Yeah. So I'm not saying he's never going to do these, but he is incentivized towards grab more so than normal here.
Okay.
And you kind of need to start trying to punish these grabs out of shield. I obviously have only seen 3 of the games of y'all's session, but he really just gets away with like grab while holding down on the analog stick and then holding shield or defending himself some other way. And even there, after this, he commits to shielding, and then he jumps once he sees that you do the dare. So he's just fully staying either on the move or trying to grab you before you can grab him.
Yeah.
Okay. Next thing. This is maybe like a very minor question, and I know it's Netplay, so it might just be like Netplay flubs. You get a tech chase here in a moment. I didn't pause that. What? No! Don't tell... I'm molding.
What?
Okay, hello?
Hello?
Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry about that.
I was wondering what was going on.
That's my internet being weird, and it's something between my ISP and my actual computer. Something's not working right, necessarily. So yeah, here you get here you go. You get a tech chase. And I'm assuming it's a Netplay flub because it's a very strange... It seems like you're trying to wave dash forward to punish a roll away.
Yeah. I'm not sure what I was trying to do there, honestly. Like, even when I rewatched it, I was kind of confused.
Gotcha. It might be easier to just do the Falcon thing of like covering tech in place with an aerial and then immediately start running as soon as you land.
Yeah.
So like in this case, since you have momentum, maybe like nair or down air, and then just book it to catch a roll. But if it was just a flub, it's just a flub. Okay, so this nair... off of this down throw. I remember we had talked about this situation before.
Yeah.
Where you kind of had this... I'll call it a bad habit of doing Magni even when the nair would threaten a kill here.
Yeah.
And I think that is a really, really good time to basically pull that out when that's gonna kill. Excuse me. Okay. Okay, so this nair. I want to talk about this nair a lot. This nair is great. So, we've already acknowledged the problem of the leg hitbox and how it's really hard to just flat out beat. Well, it does take some setup. Zero Suit has to get up there. So here, this Nair covers that shield drop, or platform drop in general. And because you don't actually hit her shield, it's not a safe thing to shield drop against. This is a really, really high value way to keep people from shield dropping and basically bullying you in the corner like this.
Uh-huh.
It's not super high reward, but it's weirdly, like, if someone's setting up to shield drop bury you, they're facing this way. If you run here and there, they can shield drop fair you maybe, but they can't, like, easily turn around while you're under them. Like, they can't do that fast enough.
Mm-hmm.
So this is, later in, I believe, the third game, you actually get a really sick conversion off of a similar idea here. Okay, you get the PK fire. Yep. Enforcing that option is really, really nice.
Yeah.
Remember, we had talked about that before. It covers an angle he can't before, so it's very useful in that way. Okay. This is a really interesting idea. So, a really interesting situation here. So you miss this full hop nair. You're calling out some movement. And right about here, you realize, oh, I've missed. And he realizes, oh, she's missed. His goal is going to be to hit you with up air or back air. And this is kind of cheating because we can pause and see. But right now he's back turned, so it's going to be back air.
Yeah.
For some characters, depending on what move they're likely to hit you with, or let me back up. So what you do is you try to DJC away, just drift out of range, and you get hit by a sweet spot bear. An alternative option is to just drift forward into them. Because it's character dependent for sure, but for like Zero Suit or Marth, if you drift forward here, she sour spots that back air, and there's a chance of you living. Versus here, you get clipped cleanly by the back air. It's a really big sweet spot.
Yeah.
This is one of those moves where there's not a sweet spot, there's a sour spot. The normal move is the strong one, and then just like in her butt, there's a sour spot sometimes. So I think, like, acknowledging that you're about to get hit and just trying to lessen that hit, in this case by drifting forwards into it to mess up spacing, could be a very useful thing. At higher percent, the fact that you try to DJC to get away is fine because you die if you get hit by this anyway. But at lower percents, obviously DJC would not be ideal. It's kind of, you're basically hedging your bets that, okay, you're going to hit me for this, but are you going to hit me the way you want to hit me? Because 99% of people are going to assume, oh, they've missed. They're going to try to back up now and make me miss. Versus, I've missed. I'm just going to, like, hug you, so that way your spacing is all funky.
Yeah.
Yeah, primarily useful in certain matchups, or against certain moves, like this back air, or like most of Marth. Okay, and then last thing in this game, 6. This is basically another example of the like slightly too late to hit Tekken, blah, blah, blah. A little too late to hit Mistech and a little too early to hit Tekken Place. So back up a little more, off of this neutral air. Also, this is a good neutral. You recognize you're not in tumble and you can just get this. You can just press the button. Are you for real?
Okay.
Oh, wait.
Just get back.
God damn it. I thought I had... Okay. So, this is another case of the, like, mistech situation. I was about to say, let me know if I drop.
Could you go back? I missed basically the entire thing.
Okay, so I was basically just setting up to get here.
Yeah.
So here, you get up-aired, but you don't get sent into the tumble, and you realize, oh, I can press nair here, and there's nothing Malachi can do about it. Great. Off of this situation, your back air is too late to hit Mistech, because he can get up attack, and also a little too early to do the whole, like, Tekken Place punish. Because if he had teched in place, this probably would have still sour spot. So if go a little faster, recognize the situation a little faster, you get a ton of value off of this. I love the idea of the Sour Spot Bear starter also, just to push, even with CC, to push off the plat, get airborne, remove CC from the table, open up the weak hits like forward air, sour and air. Unfortunately, you do get clipped by this though. Okay, and that was the last thing of game 16 as it was. We're talking about game 3 now. And then...
Game 18.
Or, sorry,
making really good progress here.
Game 18. Yeah, we got past those 15 games really fast.
Yeah.
I dropped for like 20 seconds, and then we're on game 16. It's weird.
Yeah. It's insane.
Okay, so this is... I just want to point out, this is a really good wiggle out of tumble hit stun. Right here. Because not only... Malachi ended up missing this, so it becomes very important. But it's free. If Malachi hits you, who cares? Like, you're wiggling out of hit stun. It's like a 1 frame of direction. It's not going to mess you up.
Can you go, like, frame by frame right before I land, please?
For sure, for sure.
Yeah, I want to see that.
It is YouTube, so it's 30. So
yeah,
there are
okay. 2
in between here. It's not like the frame before you. It's like a few frames before you land. You have a little leeway.
Yeah. Okay.
This might be like, I think that might have clipped your toes if you didn't wiggle out. It would have been very close. But regardless, even just that tiny wiggle puts you in such a better position here. Because now, you have forward air to threaten. He's going to back up because he missed, right? That's just like normal. Versus if he keeps going, it's actually a much harder punish for you.
Yeah.
But until proven otherwise, you can do the normal thing, back up, which gives you forward air. It gives you probably not sour and air yet, unless you hit it right before you land. But like that opens up a lot of your runoff aerial. Like that's a combo starter situation for you. Out of getting hit because he slightly misspaced something.
Yeah.
Oh, and he actually did continue drifting forward a little bit. I guess he had to, but yeah, that's like a weird situation then.
Yeah.
And even on the plat, he rolls away. Even when your fair is guaranteed to hit him here. Good Lord. He's afraid of this grab. And he should be. Down throw's really, really good. It's one of those moves. It's one of those moves where the matchup is, nest down throw. Oh, no. Okay, so here... Well, not exactly here. So this actually comes up a lot. You clip him with fire. And here, let me play the full thing first, rather than going start, stop, start, stop. You clip him with fire, and then you clip him with down tilt. So you catch him doing something as you run up, which is hint number 1 that he's trying to avoid grab, and in this case doesn't understand the math behind fire, which is fine. Fire's weird. Then he goes, I've been hit by down tilt. I need to go back into shield. I've been hit by bear. Grab could be coming. And I died to down throw nair earlier. Time for me to jump out of... Nope. Like, this is one of your tools, at least especially the percent where it is really punishing, where you can start utilizing stuff like this to punish his anti-grab out of shields.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And from these games, at least, these 3 you sent me, Malachi doesn't really start caring about your anti-grab options in the sense that, it seems like he's willing to take these as opposed to getting grabbed most of the time.
That's how I felt about the games in general, honestly.
Yeah, he'll take the hits.
General trend across all of them.
Excuse me. Part of that is because, at least, again, from these 3 games, I don't know how the rest of the session went, but from these 3 games, this was not a consistent thing that was happening where you were killing him off of it. Partially because he was also mixing up really well. And also, Ness can't cover diagonals the same way that a lot of characters can. So, against Marth, he is not jumping on a shield near as much against Marth.
Yeah.
But this kind of stuff is, the perfect percent, and this is the stuff that makes him second guess, am I going to jump out of shield? And lo and behold, the next significant interaction, he just stays in shield super long. So here, you start to get these down tilts. Right. And then he even shield SDIs them away. He's like fully committed to staying in shield here. So this is basically, again, if we want to use Yomi for this is, Yomi 1 of like, I've been nared. Yomi 2, nared. Yomi 2 is time to turtle up, right? I will make her reconvince me that I'm about to get grabbed. Because he's been just like avoiding the grab so much that you have to, as the attacker, you have to remind yourself, oh yeah, I punished him for avoiding the grab. I can probably go back to grab for a little bit now. Which is then 3, you can begin grabbing. And then, this isn't quite ordered right, but like, then you can go back to like your anti-grab, your offense options that punish his anti-grab defense options. I hate this. This is the worst. You get the gist of what I'm saying though, right?
Yeah.
And this is like literally the next significant interaction with shield too. So he fully went, I died to Nair? Okay, I'm going to shield. I'm just going to shield and avoid down tilt with my shield. So this is the really fun part. Once you get to players who will do this like immediately, you can fully just like, you can just Ouroboros it. Just this thing becomes a snake eating its own tail. All the different levels you can get on with somebody so quickly too. The different levels of Yomi of like, last stock I killed them with Nair. So Malachi will probably stay in shield this time, so I should grab now. But Malachi might know that, etc. Because Malachi's really good. And that's when it gets really, really fun. You're trying to balance all this and play the game at the same time. It's so hard.
Yeah. It's so fun, though.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
There's also, like, this doesn't apply just to shield pressure. But shield pressure is one of the most limited things in the game, which is kind of wild to think about. But it's a lot easier for that reason to go, okay, so, like, in neutral, what can Zero Suit do? Anything. In shield, Zero Suit can grab, jump, roll, spot dodge, drop shield CC. Like, you get to funky options pretty fast. You only have like 5 or 6 significant options usually.
Yeah.
Which is still a lot, but it's easier to narrow them down. Like, if Malachi's avoiding grab, he's probably not going to spot dodge. He's probably not going to up E out of shield because it's bad. Like... if you're low percent, he's probably not going to aerial out of shield. So that's where you can really like pin people down more easily. And then, again, you can use that information. So like, let's say you can use that pressure information to inform your neutral reads. So Malachi does not want to get grabbed in shield pressure. That means he's moving a lot. What will he do if you get from a neutral situation to a pressure situation? He's probably going to try to make some space, get outside of grab range. Even though there's not really any pressure that started, even just you running up. Like if this was a run-up down tilt, it would be the same. You have gone to pressure immediately, and you don't have to wait for him to do something because you already have that information. Alternatively, waiting for someone to do something is really good information. Okay. So moving on. You get this...
We actually talked about the waiting aspect in our analysis on me vs. Teals, which I just rewatched really recently, by the way. And yeah.
Hell yeah. But yeah, it's like if you ever don't know what to do in a matchup or against a player, like if you just need more info, if you do nothing, if you're losing 1 stock to 4 and you camp them, you're going to get information.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be confusing and you're probably not going to further into getting an advantage, but you're going to understand more about the other person or their character or whatever's messing you up.
Yeah.
Okay, quick shout out. This is the third criminal sweet spot you've got this set, or these games too. It's wild.
You gotta hit this kind of stuff consistently when you're fighting people that can consistently challenge you for not doing that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it is hard. Okay, so here... This isn't like a huge mistake, but I think that like you can't pressure Zero Suit coming back here. So there's not an advantage to like running up to point blank.
Yeah.
So I think maybe just stand into the plat, like have a almost like what Malachi is doing with you. Just like give the person on ledge some space, because you don't gain anything by running up there. You just make yourself vulnerable to an attack and force yourself to retreat. Excuse me, which again limits your options a little bit. If you're dashing back, you have to pivot to do something, which is hard. And a lot of the times, if something's hard, you can kind of just assume they won't do it. Or at least until they prove you wrong, of course. Like, Malachi's hitting pivot down smashes. Okay, he can do pivot down smash. That's back on the table. But, like, my round 3 in pools, Zero Suit, like, I'll let them convince me until they gotta sell me they can pivot down smash.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the Nair conversion. This kind of conversion is huge. So this is, here, I'll play it through once. And then we can talk about it a little bit.
Oh yeah, I remember this one.
So all of this is actually a direct punish on this land on the platform. Like, he cannot even shield here after he lands.
Yeah.
And this exact kind of thing, like, Zero Suit loves these platforms, and your read on here, this is, like, if you can make all of your nairs on a full hop nairs hurt this much, this is how you get Malachi to stay on the ground. This is how you make him afraid of, like, going to that safe top, or not top plat. Against Ness, it kind of is sometimes, but going to that platform where, like, Ness has to commit more than usual to, like, pressure effectively. Like, that was at, like, 60. Like, that wasn't at 100. That was fully just like, oh, hey, I thought you were going to jump up here and you did die. You get another really good wiggle out of hit stun here. Right there. Also, the wiggle into run combo is great. That's just a really, really good way to turn the tables.
Yeah. I just get behind him immediately.
Yeah, like, this removes shield grab. This removes the one directly offensive option that Malachi has here. That, or he has to pivot shield, which again is a little harder. It's not like mechanically super hard, but it's one more thing he has to do to defend himself. It's at least one more frame before shield comes up. It might be an accidental roll if he inputs it wrong. Like, that's room for error. Even just, you ran past him and all of a sudden there's 3 things he could do wrong.
Yeah.
That's really, really, if you can pile those up, that can, even the tiny things, eventually somebody's going to make a mistake in tournament. If you give them enough wrong answers, they're going to pick one. Okay, and then at 15 here. This up air. This frame -5 disjointed contortionist up air.
For this one, I want you to play the entire clip for context, like right from the beginning of the combo, before that down throw.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a really good pickup too. I'm not trying to ignore that.
So, to be fair, I was going for the clip here. I went for the mag, like the wave bounce mag, after this down air read, in order to try and get the reverse bear in order to kill on Malachi, and put that in a combo.
And put it on Reddit. Someone had put a, like, clipped Sosa back in, like, 2016 in, like, one stock of Netplay friendlies. No, I think it was Kyle. I think it was, because clipping Wario is hard. Clipping Wolf is easy. But it was the winners, like, you don't have to, like, put it in the Reddit title. You can just put a cool GIF on Reddit. It's fine.
Yeah.
And so long as you know, that's fine.
That's why I didn't go for Nair there, by the way.
I think even so long as there was, like, a reason. Like, and this is a friendly session, so, like, it's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, if that was, so long as you were aware of that, I can just skip this paragraph.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Okay. For me, a paragraph is not as much as I ramble in text form. Also,
all right.
My notes are rambly. It's bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I knew the bear was bad. I was just hoping he wouldn't do anything, pretty much.
You're hoping the Zero Suit player wouldn't mash up air? What?
Yeah, but it would have been cool if he didn't do anything.
It would have been cool. It would have been cool. Okay, so here, this tether punish. So for context, you've taken all of his resources. Down B, jump off the table. So he has to tether here. There's enough, and I know you're above 100, so you can't do the really easy tourney winner DJC, but there's enough end lag to where you can get this on the ground of the opponent, the up air, like reactively. You don't have to like intercept it before zero suit has options here.
Okay.
And that is percent dependent, of course. Like if you're above 100 and they're at 10 to where you need to get down air, that's a lot harder. But in this situation, you only need the one up air, and she'll explode off the top. You don't need to kill her like right here, because she's either going to go this way and you can chill, or she's going to go this way and you can just hit her with your head. Her reel in being like 2 frames definitely like introduces a sense of urgency into the situation that does not help.
Yeah.
And then I'm talking about the last move in the game, actually. So, okay, also, that's jab 1 backward hitbox. I love seeing this move. Also, he SDIs it so far. No. He is fully just like brawl AI, getting the hell out of here. 6 feet away. So, also, his SDI kills him here. Because he thinks you're going to do the really fancy magnet dare thing, or magnet bear, and you just kind of like end his life. He ends his own life with this really good SDI. And this is another example of stuff like we had talked about this exact situation where it's like sometimes you have to nair to like keep them honest. Dare works great too. I hadn't even thought of that at the time, but like you found a third option they have to worry about now. So now they got to worry about the DI and if they need to meteor cancel. So like this, even though this option isn't like super different, it's a third option. So again, multiple choice question. If there's one right answer, now it's not 50%, it's 33%. Even if these actually are weighted to where it's like 55-45, it doesn't matter. It's one more thing. Malachi has to think, oh, I died to dare that one time. Should I SDI in? Wait, what about Magnet Bear? And the situation happened in 30 frames already. So like, Malachi, like, you can't pause the VOD when you're playing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the big takeaways are try to, like, you're aware of the concept of Yomi. Try to like fiddle around with it more, especially when you're playing players that like you know are gonna adapt their defense and offense like reactively and proactively. Try like again, I didn't see the other 15 games, but from these 3 games, like if you see that, oh, Malachi's out of shields are, grab, jump, roll. Especially when it's a jump, not even for an out of shield aerial, but just for like a jump. That's a really big hint that like it's not about the attack, it's about the movement. So if you're seeing, oh, my opponent has their out of shield options are like they're not consistent, but they're not like nairing or up airing, they're not doing something I expect. It's like, okay, what do these all have in common? It's hard to beat these with nest grab. Unless you're calling them out specifically, or you have a different call out for the jump. Which means, oh, Malachi's avoiding grab. So anti-grab. Try to just, I don't want to say throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks, but like, be more willing to kind of just like experiment in these friendly sessions with like, okay, what do I have that's anti-grab? So we'll do, like that could be a, just one by one. That could be wait and like chase them. That could be forward air. That could be dash dance grab. Like you have the options, even if they're not the best or your most practiced. But the goal is basically to get him back to, or here, let me do, so if this is Malachi, or let me do, this is Malachi. You're doing your anti-grab options. Make Malachi have to shield again. Because if he has to shield again, now you've come full circle. Now you can start cashing out on stuff. Because if you only cash out once, then you're playing the majority of, like, if you only cash out at the end of game 5 with a really good fair to catch a jump or a really good roll read. I mean, you've played the majority of the set where he's just like not had to worry about grabs.
Yeah.
But if you punish this stuff immediately, even if it's not huge, so long as it's like stands out that like, oh wait, if I jump I might get punished. Maybe I'll shield for longer, like we saw Malachi do. I believe it was against your down tilts. He started shield DIing them away. and he stayed in shield longer in another interaction as well. If you can get into, your goal is to get into this ASAP, basically, against players that are good enough to like and aware enough to get into this. Because without this, if you don't punish him for his anti-grab stuff, then all of a sudden on defense, it's just this tiny little box of 3 options. He can just pick from them randomly and it's fine. He doesn't have to think on defense. Versus my whole Venn diagram of MS Paint mouse words that are hard to, very illegible. This is a lot more complicated. This is how you get people. This forces errors just by the nature of it being hard, right?
Yeah.
So like I mentioned with like, pivot into shield to keep grab open. That's something you can mess up in the heat of a moment, especially in tournament. That can become a roll. You know, pivot down smash can just become dash attack away and get you some stage if they're feeling the pressure. Like, it's not exactly forced errors in the normal sense, but the more pressure you exert with your offense and the harder you are to pin down, the less mental energy your opponent has, even if they're like one of the best players in the world, right? The less mental energy they have to, you know, interact with whatever mind game setup you're currently going in. And then we talked pretty extensively already about the zero suit pressure, where she has the foot, the kick, and then she has her pivot down smash. You have universal tools to mess with that because, again, you know, you have the what, the where, and the when. Yeah. If the what is, you know, maybe 2 moves, let's check that off. The where is, you know, somewhere I'm going to run into. It's going to hit me in the face if I run forward. And the when is, you know, that's a full question mark, but they have to be on the plat, so it's reactable question mark. Then all of a sudden, you know, this is much easier to like build a game plan around than like zero suit backer is really good, and it's just a fact of life. It is really good, and it kills me if I get hit by it. I'm not saying that you were like giving up in that capacity, but just it's easier to kind of start like, oh, we kind of like, can we estimate the win? Maybe when she's on the plat, we run forward shield. Maybe when she's on the plat, we like run up there with Nair and get like threaten that. Maybe after she lands, we run up there with Nair to threaten her getting back on the plat. Because how is she going to kill me if I Nair onto the plat and hold away? She can't bear me from there, right? Like and even there are answers to all of these, of course, on both sides. But if you can give them the what, the when, and the where, that's how you really start running them out of energy.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what is Ness going to do? Something not great because it's Ness hitboxes. Where are they going to be? Okay, well, you're pretty much running forward a little bit. Cool, from Malachi's perspective. And when? Truly no clue. So, like, I mean, the attacker obviously has the better numbers, the better risk reward in this case, in most cases even, but, like, it's not a solved equation for the zero suit. Especially once you start punishing this, that throws these into question, right? So, like, if you run up shield grab and it was like a punish, the what now becomes, what the hell is this Ness going to do? I can't just press my leg button. I have to worry about shield grab now. And that makes them, in real time, have to come up with another solution. Which also makes it makes their what more difficult to pin down. It also makes it worse. Like, there's a reason that the zero suit's back here. It's going to kill you if it hits and it's really good. But if you can make them do down angled forward tilt instead, damn. What a sad day. Olympus has fallen.
Damn.
They have to use a tilt? They have to stop moving?
The SF down tilt is a pretty funny move, though, to be fair.
Oh yeah, Daft is hilarious. It's just strong for no reason. A lot of angle down tilts are like Ness angle down tilts. Really, it's a Looney Tunes move.
Absolutely love it.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways.
So, is there anything else you wanted to cover, real quick?
No, that was a very good session, I'd say.
Great. Sorry for going a little overtime.
Don't worry about it. We started a little late, anyways. And there were connection issues too.
I'm so mad at my computer. It's been like 3 weeks.
It's all good though.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
obviously thanks for booking. I really, really appreciate it. These are also really fun sets to go over. It's like every like month or so when you have more VODs for me, it's always like, oh yeah, that Nair, that's what we talked about last time. It's like, oh, this Dare, that's something we didn't even talk about, but it's a third solution to this problem.
Yeah.
I think it's very
I try
funny.
and think a lot about all this stuff, and generally at this point, a lot of my improvement is basically the stuff we're talking about at these coaching sessions, trying to apply them.
Hell yeah.
So yeah.
If you want something to practice kind of with the what, the where, and the when, like, it's something very useful just like looking at a VOD. So the 3 W's. I need to get a name for this. This is an awful name. But so these 3 questions, right? You can just go to a VOD interaction, whether you know the characters or not, and being like, okay, why is Sosa, mashing down tilt here? Does it kill? Okay, it kills. Cool. Why? Where is he going to do it? When is he going to do it? Is he mixing these things up? Or is he not mixing them up in order to mix them up? The circular mind game stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, I think it's basically that, and then mixing up the offense to force your opponent to mix up the defense, so that way they also have to exert as much energy as you do. Excuse me.
All right then.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the stream here, and like always, it'll be up on YouTube with local recording, so it's not going to have interruptions aside from me getting kind of mad for 20 seconds.
All good.